definitely, 100%. I've grown, I guess, and I've put a lot of work into growing my mindset, whereas before it was stuck on repeat. Um, Thoughts. I think the way that I think about things have changed. I think I still have the same thoughts. Um, I think in the last interview, I kind of talked about death and stuff. And I think I still think about it as much, but it's different. It's a different way of thinking about it and a different way of approaching kind of the subject and looking at how I'm feeling about it and whatnot. But yeah, I think my thoughts haven't changed, but the way I think about things has. That makes sense. Right now, I feel like people are using the current crisis, the COVID crisis, to hurt people. Um, there's a lot of, unfortunately, our fantastic government has put a lot on the public, and having public responsibility and personal responsibility to how you react to the virus and what you do, and how you are with people, where you should stand, what you should do, blah blah blah. And I think in giving that to the public, a lot of people are using that against people. I think a lot of people have been driven apart by it. It's almost kind of this excuse where people can just start kind of blaming people, pointing the finger, when really it shouldn't. It's not about that. It's really not about that at all. I think really putting the blame on individual people is rubbish. I think people are scared, people are stressed, people have been launched into the unknown. And I think it's a good thing in that everybody has had the time to stop and pause, and really kind of evaluate their friendship circles, their family groups, their work, their interests and hobbies. So I think in a way it's been a really good thing for everyone, but also just terrible at the same time. I think everyone's going through grief, everyone's grieving something, loss, whether that be loss of a job, loss of income, loss of security, loss of family members, friends. I think the country, everyone is going to go through a really long grieving process, that unfortunately I think is going to be pretty brushed under the rug by the higher ups, the governments and whatnot, and not fully acknowledged. Yeah, I think everyone's scared. I think they're scared of what has happened and what will happen. I think people are scared of change. Well-being and health, for me, it's an important thing, and it's something that I try and implicate in every kind of aspect of my life with other people as well. Well-being, especially at the minute, is just so important. People are being left on their own. People are losing family members, whether that be them passing away or arguments or anything like that. And yeah, there's a lot of focus on health at the minute. How healthy you are, there's just this big magnifying glass on, are you exercising enough? Are you eating the right things? Are you young, fit, healthy? Are you old? Do you have disability? Do you have underlying health issues? And this is kind of I think the first time where everyone's had a microscope on their own health. And I think it's a good thing and a bad thing. I think it's a bad thing because there's for some people with health, there's things that they just cannot change, unfortunately. Long-term medical health problems, disabilities, and I think able-bodied, healthy people have finally been put in a position where a lot of disabled people have been in for a very long time. They've been told to stay indoors, they've been told they can't do this, they've been told they can't do that. And I think that's really affected people. And hopefully it will open their eyes up and they'll realise that, you know, it's not just about them, it's about everybody else. So yeah, health, I think, the big magnifying glass at the minute. And obviously with health comes well-being. Mental health at the minute is, I can't even begin to imagine the wards and the phone calls that people are getting. That the doctors are probably, you know, mental health nurses, mental health clinics are probably completely overrun, for good reason. And I hope that people take things more seriously. I always try and advocate to be quite open. I've had my own mental health problems from a very young age. And I try and incorporate positive well-being kind of in my day-to-day. Like I bought a mask that has smiley face suns on it because I know if I was a 10-year-old in this kind of situation, I would be awful. My mental health would be terrible. So I bought a mask with smiley faces on it to hopefully make people feel less scared, and hopefully be a little bit less triggering for people. So yeah, I don't think I've answered that properly, but health is under a microscope at the minute, and well-being has always been important to me. And hopefully people will realise, start talking about it and being a bit more open. That's a good one. How do I keep healthy and well? I've never been very good at that, actually. I don't know whether I talked about it in my last interview, but it's definitely conversations that I've had. I'm really bad at looking after myself, physically, mentally, which isn't a good thing. But at the minute, you know, I've been going outside a lot. I think a lot of people have, going to forests, I've been building a natural fence in a book hotel and really enjoying bird watching. Bird watching has probably been really good for my health over the lockdown period, because birds are always there. So yeah, I think that's really helped. Just taking the time to sit, pause, focus on something, but not necessarily bad things. Walking, kind of doing what feels right in the moment and trying to be as guilt-free about it. So if I'm tired and I want to sit, I sit. Or if I want to go out for a walk, I go out for a walk. Kind of listening to what my body and mind want is the approach that I've tried to take, because I've never really done that before. Now I've got time to, so yeah, I'll get better at it, I think, hopefully. Strength and resilience. Resilience is kind of is like a concept that I know of, but I am desperately reaching out for it. When I went to, I've had some amazing experiences and spoken to a lot of early years developers and whatnot. I can't talk. People that look at babies and young people's minds. And they say resilience a lot. They in their talks and in their writing, they talk about resilience and how if you do this with your child, you'll have a more resilient child. Or if you feed your child this, or you take your child here, and you will build a resilient person. And I feel like it's something that I'd love to be, because I don't feel like I am. And it is an interesting concept. It's something that is pushed a lot. You want to be resilient. And I feel like the resilience is here, and I'm here, and I'm trying to reach for it, but it's not happening. And strength, well, I guess there's two ways looking at strength. There's physically strong, there's emotionally strong. Strength, I think my perception of it has changed, because strength can come from places that, at the minute, I've seen strength come from places that I've never seen it come from before. Recently losing a family member, very treasured family member, I've seen strength in ways that I never thought strength could be. I feel like I could be stronger, probably. Yeah. Where do I draw my strength from? I think, well, I find a lot of strength in what I do as a job. I love it. Makes me feel strong. Interacting with the public and seeing people smile and laugh makes me feel really good. If I can help somebody out for a couple of minutes and make them laugh and kind of forget everything for even just a second, then I kind of get strength from that. I think, yeah, that's great. That's awesome. I've done something good today. But strength, I feel like at the minute, with the current situation, that's everything going on at the minute, I feel like I've forgotten where to get strength from. I think it's made me realise that the work that I do, and performing and creating and all that kind of stuff, it's all stopped. So, and it's been taken away. So I feel a bit like empty, because that's where I would feel most strong, most confident. You know, being funny, being silly, but now that's gone. It's kind of like, well, what do I do now? That's probably it. I think at the minute, I think right now, probably from, I can tell you, from November the 6th of 2019, that is when I've needed it. From then till now, I like I previously said, somebody, my grandpa, passed away. It was very sudden. We didn't expect it. He was fit and healthy and well, and then within a couple of hours, he passed away from an aortic aneurysm, and it was like, what? And since then, everything's just been turned on its head. Family dynamics have changed. People are hurting. People are upset, and not just because of grief. It's not the first time, because I lost my auntie as well, that I was both really close to. So I was already in this kind of weird space of grief anyway, and I'm kind of doing it all over again. So I think I need it now more than ever. I thought I needed it last year. Before it all happened, I thought I needed it last year when I was really busy and working all the time, and I was tired and, you know, trying to balance life and work, but I really didn't need it then. I'd say I need it now, today, in the post, probably. Yeah, I think they're connected. It's all about this idea of resilience. And I find, as I've grown, I found resilience so much more interesting, because it's kind of this whole, textbook thing where, sorry about that. It's just this textbook thing where it's kind of like, you have to do this, this, and this to make your child resilient, to make a resilient person. You have to be resilient. This is what you do must be to resilient. Like, and I feel like it's kind of at the minute held above everything. And sometimes I think it's impossible. It's impossible to be resilient, because you're always going to get upset by something. You're only human. So yeah, it's a bit kind of like, it's an interesting one, because people show resilience, but I wouldn't say that people are resilient all of the time. It's hard work to be resilient all the time. It's hard work to be happy all the time, or it's hard work to be strong all the time. Sometimes you need to be in, go into that little black hole, even if it's just for a couple of minutes, and just be upset. I think that, going off on a bit of a tangent, but the main thing that I've learned is to be with your feelings. Feeling sad, feel sad. If you're feeling angry, feel angry. There's no point trying to battle through it. Just be with it, and it will go. It will, it'll come and go, the feelings, because that's what they do. You can't, but yeah, I think it's all interconnected. Yeah, that's probably what I'd say. I think my community's changed a lot. I've seen really nasty things. When I kind of put wellbeing and health, and all of that stuff so high up in my importance, and making sure that not only myself but everyone is okay. In my community, I've seen people completely go against that and knock it down and say that it's completely not important, and that really shocked me. Communities change, and sometimes as well you feel communityless. Sometimes I think you can feel a bit, especially at the minute when everyone's so separated and so apart. I mean, there was a few times where it was, socially distanced and everybody was safe and blah, 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 but I was with other people, and I came away from it and I felt like I completely forgot how to be around other people. Even though I've known them for ages and they've been part of my community and part of my friendship group, I just felt like I didn't know what to do. I think everybody's communities are shifting. I want to be around more people that value emotional intelligence and how their actions and words actually affect somebody's mental health. And probably throughout this process, I've discovered new things about people that I'm a bit like, oh, that's a shame. Probably it's really shit at the minute. I don't know whether I'm allowed to swear. I'm probably not. Let me rephrase it so it's a bit more PG. Everything feels really bad at the minute, but it will be okay. And this is good, I hope it will be okay. Everything will be okay. We'll live, hopefully. That's probably it. I'm really bad at giving advice at the minute. Yeah, we'll be all right. We'll be okay.